I've been getting to it, I ain't noticed y'all was hating. Brand new chick, she don't know the occupation. I just wanna know that I can hold a conversation. Oof, I don't know what y'all debating. I've been waiting for you, now I'm running out of patience. Running up a check, trying to run an operation. Went broke in the check and put 100 out of savings. I can tell now that you ain't talking about nothing. I'ma need something I can calm down from. I'm gonna pull it with the bar down one. 6 months in, I ain't once. Trying to tell me what you know about me. You don't know nothing, keep it real with me. She said she ain't trying to deal with me. Okay, cool, you can sell that seat.
U.S. Bank Stadium holds just under 70,000 spectators, and they've come out in full force for this one. A fantastic atmosphere here in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Taken in the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. First carry now for Dalvin Cook. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Makes it 3rd and 11.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. From the gun, here's Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And nearly a touchdown as they finally stop him down at about the 3-yard line. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
No gain on the play leads to second and goal at the Vikings 3-yard line.
They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. Here's Ryan. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Keith Smith, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And he wasn't blocking or running it there. They tossed it to him.
And you remember the good old days when the 49ers were riding roughshod in the league? They use their fullback in pass plays all the time. Roger Craig, Tom Rathman, those guys were terrific at running these types of plays.
It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Falcons 7, Vikings nothing. Sterling Hoffrichter.
Now following the touchdown, Hoffrichter to kick off. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. After a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
He was taken down at the 20.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And that will be incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 28-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
A gain of a yard.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. is just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. First catch so far for Julio. He's got a first down. That catch is number 819 of his career. It ties him with Hall of Famer Steve Largent,
who did things largely below the radar. Not this guy. 819 catches, that speaks loudly in volumes.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
2 yards.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a third and about 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now it's Ryan. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a draw play for Gurley. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first.
And there's a run there by Todd Gurley. We all know he's looking to rebound from the least productive season of his career. And I think Atlanta presents him a great opportunity to do just that. They'll use him really well running it as well as catching it out of the backfield.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
First down.
I know I'm one of those that overuses certain terms, and this one, explosive, is what we use for a lot of receivers, but that's Calvin Ridley. Nice catch there, and not only is he explosive, he's been very productive. Since being drafted in 2018, one of the top touchdown rates in the league as a wide receiver. The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Ryan. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
And it's 3rd down.
So 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive, and now they face a 3rd and 3 here. From the gun, it's Ryan. It's caught, Nelson. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown.
Touchdown.
J.J. Nelson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons push further out in front. And it's good to make it 14-0.
Makes the score Falcons 14, Vikings nothing. Sterling Hoff.
Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. Takes this about 5 yards deep. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
Vikings take over 1st and 10. At their own 21-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by the rookie A.J. Terrell. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
At the 41-yard line.
Here's Gurley now. Toss right. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Touchdown, Falcons. Todd Gurley, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Richter to kick off for the Falcons.
Now following the touchdown, Richter to kick off. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
Abdullah on the return. The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield.
Interception thrown by Cousins. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to nerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
1st and 10 and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
The tackle.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And down to the 29-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
The tackle made by...
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Gain on the play. Brings up...
I think it's okay that they didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15.
It's a gain of...
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. His first carry. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 13-yard line.
Gurley. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
The ball carrier.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The Falcons on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Gurley. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Call it a 4-yard pickup, but it leaves him a few inches short here on 4th down. And we'll see Younghoe Koo now for the Falcons. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. And his kick here is good. And the route is on. It's 24-0. A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely
zone. And Abdullah will not try to bring it out.
Stand 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Working out of the gun, Cousins. They're going for Jefferson downfield. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Airing it out, looking for Ridley. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Oh, my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. Oh, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
The quick slant caught. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd goal.
Brought down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
They'll run with Smith, and he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They'll try and push it in with Gurley. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Todd Gurley with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Here's Cousins. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah, couldn't find a silver lining in this one. Much more like lead.
Lets it fly for Thielen. And that's caught inside the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now. Okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row. We're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
And this carries into the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25.
25-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room. And
he's got a man, complete. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta.
To number 11.
Matt Ryan now 3 first-half touchdown passes. And the Falcons add on.
Younghoe Koo lining up for the point after.
And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation. Knowing when it exists to go to it, they did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you get this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
To throw again on second down. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. A good pickup, but it will come on what should be the final play in this first half. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And how about this right out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. To throw, it's Ryan. On the right side by Jones. Ryan 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it a second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
On the play, and it brings up third down.
Again they run with Gurley. But he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And, Charles, the good news, they got to stop defensively. The bad news, this is a huge hole that they're in right now. How do they start to dig out of it?
That's a great question, because we're not even going to talk about how do they win it, right? We want to see how they can kind of claw back and at least make themselves feel better about the game, because this one is likely out of reach, but maybe one possession at a time, try and play a little bit better and have some respect when you come out of the game.
Down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
And it's pretty evident when you watch how Minnesota plays, just how important Dalvin Cook is to their offense. 1,000-yard rusher a year before, the first one the Vikings had since Adrian Peterson was dominating their carries. And having Cook in the lineup for the bulk of the season, that made Minnesota exactly what their head coach Mike Zimmer wanted them to be. A much more physical team that complemented their defense.
17 yards, first down, Vikings.
And at the 41-yard line.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. Well, that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over him, and they got there to break that one up.
Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Cousins to throw it. Lets it fly for Thielen. It's caught at the 10. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and goal.
They try again with Cook. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all.
On the stop.
No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Bailey to tack on the extra point. And the lead is down to 24.
Makes the score Falcons 38, Vikings 14.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will make it into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
At their own 16-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
From the gun, Ryan. It's complete. This is Todd Gurley. And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
And there's a catch by Todd Gurley, and that has to remind us that's exactly what we've seen in him throughout his career when he's at his best. He can run it. He can catch it. He led the league in total yards from scrimmage in 2017 with nearly 3,000. Todd Gurley, when he's on point, is quite a weapon for the Atlanta Falcons.
Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 33-yard line.
On 2nd down, Ryan. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. And we'll return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Ryan. That's caught. Jones. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. He was looking for Julio Jones, his Pro Bowl receiver.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Back to the ground game here. Gurley. And he'll be brought down right midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a third and about 4 more for a first. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Falcons on third down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Ryan. He's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line. 14 yards there on a Falcon first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Gurley. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. From the 29, Ryan. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. They run. It's Gurley. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And it's just short. He got 6 of the 7 he needed, so that leaves a decision here on 4th and a yard.
4th down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. This is no good. Close but no cigar, just wide right. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. He'll look to throw right away. This one brought in by Jefferson. And now the rookie's free. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. He has his 2 scores, but still a sizable deficit in this game.
Do you have him in fantasy football this week?
Unfortunately, no.
It's too bad, right? That would have been big points, but he is really trying to rally his team as best he can. Things are not going as well the rest of the way for them. That's why they're down with this deficit. They might need to score a couple more times to give them a chance.
Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was, and one of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away. Now it's Gurley.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down, and keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to be their 2nd. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've had plenty of success. 8 conversions, looking for a 9th. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Ryan. They will find Ridley. That's complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
The tackle made.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Keith Smith. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead. Well, fullback touchdowns have become rare. We just saw 2 of them by the same guy here.
And if you had him on your fantasy team, I'm hanging out with you now for stock tips.
Sterling Hawkrichter to kick off for the Falcons.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll be out right at the 35. A gain there of 21 yards.
I don't care how you look at it, how you cut it, how you parse it. Adam Thielen continues to be an absolute marvel, coming from where he did, Division III football, to being one of the top receivers in the NFL. But it's going to be vital for the Vikings in 2020 to keep number 19 on the field, especially since he lost his old running mate Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills. And a hamstring injury last year really held his numbers in check. His lowest receiving yardage since 2015. Look for another breakout from Adam Thielen after plays like that.
First down, here's Cousins. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Grady Jarrett forced his way through, drops him for a loss of 10 yards. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. That is caught. It's Tajay Sharp. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for third down. So 3rd and 2, and I count 6 defensive backs out there. From the gun, here's Cousins. Interception. Between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
21 yards.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the counter, Gurley. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people
are fighting for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hughes.
Lions pass. Intercepted. The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you hate to see this for them, but they're looking at yet another loss to begin this season. Things really going from bad to worse as they trail here starting this drive 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing, Cousins. This is going to wind up a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Today's final score, Falcons 46.